With NFL roster cutdowns arriving for all 32 NFL teams, tough calls are being made throughout the league. The Pittsburgh Steelers are no different, and General Manager Omar Khan made a significant decision ahead of Tuesday's 4 p.m. Eastern Time deadline. According to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, it's the end of the line for one of the Steelers' young players. Defensive lineman DeMarvin Leal is being cut. Steelers reportedly cutting defensive lineman DeMarvin Leal. It's a sad outcome for Leal, who didn't get to complete his rookie contract with Pittsburgh. Originally drafted in the third round back in 2022, the former Texas A&M standout simply never cashed in on his potential. In 28 games across the 2022 to 2024 seasons, he recorded 33 tackles, 3 for loss, with 4 passes broken up, 3 quarterback hits, and 1 sack. He played 432 defensive snaps in 3 regular seasons for the Steelers. During Pittsburgh's August preseason stretch, Leal recorded 5 solo tackles. He also had a quarterback hit. Unfortunately for Leal, the writing seemed to be on the wall. That was the case even dating back to the end of the 2023-24 campaign, when he got benched following a knee injury. At the time, head coach Mike Tomlin issued him a challenge to bounce back, which he didn't do a season ago. Subsequently, Leal was dubbed either a trade candidate or cut candidate leading up to the league-mandated August 26th deadline. The off-season additions of rookies Derek Harmon and Yehia Black, both intriguing pieces with upside, made Leal expendable. Not even a knee sprain for Harmon or a reported upper body ailment for Keanu Benton could keep him on the roster. Earlier in the spring and summer, Leal got some work at outside linebacker. It was an attempt to diversify his skill set, albeit an unsuccessful one in the grand scheme of things. The 25-year-old will now be subject to waivers after being cut. Assessing Pittsburgh's pass rush depth entering 2025 season. Fortunately for the Steelers, losing Leal isn't the end of the world. There's ample talent in the fold for a team that figures to once again boast a good defense capable of fueling a winning season. The straw that stirs the drink still is undoubtedly TJ Watt. The superstar is back on a lucrative multi-year contract extension, which should keep him as the cornerstone piece of the team. He's complemented by players like Cameron Hayward, who is looking to resolve a contract dispute of his own. Hayward, despite being early in his newish deal, wants to rework things and receive a raise. That isn't the only set of quality pass rushers Pittsburgh has either. Benton, when healthy, boasts great underlying metrics. He's a formidable interior defender. Once he gets back from the knee ailment, Harmon projects to be a nice rusher capable of winning with both power and speed. Outside linebacker Alex Highsmith is also coming off a 6-sack campaign and is only a few years removed from a 14.5 sack effort. Then there are developmental pieces like Black and 4th-round pick Jack Sawyer. Isaiah Loudermilk is a veteran who must be accounted for, too. Despite some injuries and the loss of a high-profile name with former prospect status, the Steelers remain in good shape. Just hours before the NFL roster cutdown deadline, ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler reported that the Pittsburgh Steelers are releasing DeMarvin Leal. The 2022 third-round draft pick bounced around the defensive line, offering depth as an outside linebacker and an interior defender. Unfortunately, Leal was never able to stick. Leal was a tweener in a bad way. Entering the 2022 NFL Draft, the Texas A&M product stood at 6 feet 3 inches 7/8 and 283 pounds with 33¼ feet arms. However, his 5.00 40-yard dash time and 28-inch vertical jump proved that he didn't have the athletic traits of a player with high upside. Leal was too slow to be an effective edge rusher and too small to be a full-time defensive tackle. This odd body type made many fans question his fit on the Steelers' 3-4 base defense, and those questions were justified. The busted third-round pick is officially off the Pittsburgh Steelers after failing to make it through his rookie contract. Leal appeared in 28 games in his first 3 NFL seasons, but recorded just 33 tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for a loss, and 3 quarterback hits. The Pittsburgh Steelers have cleansing its roster of the Kevin Colbert era. The final 5 years of the Kevin Colbert era in Pittsburgh proved to be a nightmare. Though Colbert was seen as a great general manager early in his tenure with the team, his final 5 NFL drafts were disastrous. The latest release is just further proof. Leal was one of 7 players taken by the Steelers in the 2022 NFL Draft. Now only 2 remain: wide receiver Calvin Austin III and tight end Connor Hayward, neither of which has been considered a difference-maker on the Steelers roster. Because of his former third-round pick status and his reputation as a 5-star recruit, there was optimism that Pittsburgh would be able to trade Leal for a late-round pick swap instead of cutting him outright. Unfortunately, nothing materialized, and Leal is out of a job with nothing to show for it. Still just 25 years old, Leal now hits the waiver wire and could land on his feet with another team soon. The Steelers, meanwhile, have their 4 edge rushers in place with T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, and 4th-round rookie Jack Sawyer. For the first time in 4 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have a glaring issue at starting quarterback. The comfort of that statement might only last 1 season, of course. Aaron Rodgers will be 42 years old by season's end, and while he's given Steelers fans a maybe on his return in 2026, his initial stance that he'd be in Pittsburgh for one last season still looms. For now, the Steelers feel fairly confident in their quarterback room after completely overhauling it. Mason Rudolph is a comfortable backup option that fans support. 6th-round pick Will Howard seemed to have won the third-string job before the preseason began. Skylar Thompson looked good enough to push Rudolph for the 2nd string in live action, though. Still, all of that comfort doesn't solve the issue that has prevailed since Ben Roethlisberger's retirement in 2021. Who is the future franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Some fans want Howard, others want to land him in the draft held in the Steel City next April. But another option could be available via trade sooner rather than later. Indianapolis Colts QB Anthony Richardson floated as a potential Pittsburgh Steelers trade target. ESPN's Bill Barnwell recently submitted 10 trades across the NFL that seemed feasible following the preseason. He suggested the Steelers send the Indianapolis Colts a 4th-round pick in next year's draft to bring Anthony Richardson to Pittsburgh to give him a fresh start after losing his starting position to Daniel Jones. Most fans would look at Richardson, the 4th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, as a true blue bust. Most would say the same of Jones, who failed in New York with the Giants as a 6th overall pick in the 2019 draft. But there's an argument to be made that Richardson is a project that requires more patience, much like Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield, who all failed at previous stops, but eventually landed starting gigs. Frankly, Richardson's profile matches what the Steelers would like in their starting quarterback from a skill set point of view. He has a rocket arm, incredible athleticism, and the size to, theoretically, withstand the bruising AFC North division. Whether or not the Steelers have the patience to see him come along and find his NFL footing is another story. In reality, this isn't a move the Steelers should make ahead of the 2025 season. It's one they should table until they know what Rodgers' plans are and after getting more information on Richardson. But even with that approach, it would likely take a perfect storm scenario for the Steelers to make such a move. For example, if the Steelers reach the AFC Championship, fall short there, and Rodgers decides, quickly, that he'll be returning and Anthony Richardson doesn't touch the field for Indianapolis while they skid to an expectable losing record and a top 10 pick, the Steelers should send a mid-round pick to the Colts to secure the project QB. Pittsburgh then has less pressure to move up for a quarterback, instead investing in Richardson with another redshirt year and selecting a player that can hopefully get them over the hump in a championship contender conversation with their 1st-round pick. That's not a particularly likely scenario. Jones will almost assuredly give time to Richardson at some point during what will likely be a difficult season for Indianapolis. Then there's the whole, how good are the Steelers really aspect. Still, the key with Richardson is patience. How the Colts came to the conclusion that he was ready to start in year 1 remains a mystery to the rest of the NFL. But going forward, replicating the patience that revived the careers of Darnold and Mayfield is the way to go. He has the tools. He just needs to be in the right opportunity. But as things stand currently, Pittsburgh only stands to provide such an opportunity if everything falls into place just right.